Hey guys, Jackie Sloman here, founder of Nutrition on the Mat and the High Performance Weight Cut, where we show wrestlers how to drop up to 10 pounds in 24 hours while eating and drinking more. And we also do this while showing them how to improve their strength and energy on and off the mat. So thank you so much for joining me. And in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about what wrestlers should be eating the night before a weigh-in if they need to drop weight. So this actually seems to be a really big point of confusion for a lot of wrestlers. And the first thing that I want to start off by saying is that in general, what you need to be eating and drinking is a very individualized process. So things that can affect this are going to include your current walking around weight, what your scratch weight is, your weekly, your daily training regimen, the intensity of your workouts, and even how heavy of a sweater you are, all play into exactly what your plan should look like. So while there is no cookie cutter meal plan that every wrestler can follow and get the results that they're looking for, there are general tips that you can start using today to help you get better results. So we're going to be addressing first what you shouldn't be eating, what could be sabotaging your weigh-in efforts, and then we're going to be talking about what you should be eating instead. So two of the major things that I teach my own wrestling clients when we're working together is first and foremost, the few days before a weigh-in, you want to be avoiding things very specifically that are high in sodium. So foods high in sodium can include most processed foods actually. So any kind of frozen food, any canned goods, a lot of deli meats and cheeses and cold cuts all generally tend to have naturally high amounts of sodium in them. And the reason that we avoid this is because sodium leads to temporarily increasing your water in your body. So this means increased weight gain. Just saw my cat in the background. That's Loki for anyone curious. So we definitely want to be avoiding those high sodium foods. The second thing that we actually want to be avoiding that I think might be surprising for a lot of wrestlers is we want to be avoiding anything that's high in fiber. So foods high in fiber actually tend to be a lot of naturally occurring fresh fruits and vegetables, cooked fruits and vegetables. It also comes from things like beans, legumes, a lot of breads and grains naturally have high fiber versions of them that you could be buying. And the caveat with this is while high fiber is great on a regular basis, it does help keep you fuller longer. These foods also tend to have a lot of nutrients and vitamins and minerals that would generally be good for us. It is something that we want to avoid before a weigh-in. Again, fiber naturally pulls water to it and naturally increases your weight. It's temporarily, but if you're eating these foods right before a weigh-in, it could be causing you to hold on to extra water weight, which is not what we want. So those are two things that you should definitely be avoiding the night before your weigh-in. So what should you be eating instead? So one of the main things that I recommend to my wrestlers is we want to strategically be eating foods that help release fluid from the body instead of storing it. And yes, there are foods that do this naturally. It's not any kind of trick or any kind of magic. It's just all about creating the right type of plan for you as an individual. So examples of some of these foods include things like unsalted nuts, lean chicken. It could include things like avocado, asparagus, celery. There's a whole list of what these foods could look like. And the good news is if we're smart, we can make really good, really enjoyable meals out of these foods and eat them the night before a weigh-in. And they're actually going to help us with our water weight loss efforts. The second thing that we want to be focusing on, and we already touched upon it, is obviously we want to be avoiding foods high in sodium. So how do we swap those out with foods that are low in sodium instead? And luckily it's not that complicated. So one of the main things that we want to do is simply look for salt-free or low sodium on the packages of what we're buying. So as an example, Boar's Head Cold Cuts has a very low sodium line of deli meats that you can buy. Most nuts come in salt-free or unsalted versions, and just really making sure that we're not cooking with any salt. One of the main products I recommend to my wrestlers when they are trying to flavor their food for the day before a weigh-in is a seasoning company that's called Mrs. Dash. It's just they create a bunch of seasonings, they have a whole line, and they don't have any sodium or very, very little. So this is a good way where you can add these to your meals. They're not going to be bland, they're not going to be boring, and you can still get what you're trying to achieve, which is a low sodium diet the few days beforehand. So again, there's a lot of factors that go into it. We're just naming a handful here, but these are things that you can start incorporating today to see results. And obviously, I always say this, but if your nutrition plan, if your wake up plan only starts the night before your weigh-in, then no amount of strategic fueling after your weigh-ins is gonna get you the energy bump that you need. You need to be strategically fueling all week long so that way you are energized, you're strong on the mat, and you're not gassing out in any of your matches. But if you are doing all of those things properly, then following these steps on top of it is going to give you a huge competitive edge, and it's going to make making your weigh-ins easier. And that's just one less thing to focus on. One of the things that I teach my wrestlers is I want your weigh-ins to be so simple that they seem like an afterthought, so that when you're getting ready for your matches and when you're stepping on the mat, the only thing that you have to focus on is your performance and being a better wrestler. So hopefully these tips helped. As usual, if you are interested in learning how to have a high performance weight cut, register for the free training that I have hosted on how to do just that. Go to nutritiononthemat.com/training. It's free, you can register for it, and the steps and the process that I go over is the same exact outline that I go through with my own wrestling clients in teaching them how to have a high performance weight cut, how to drop 10 pounds in 24 hours while eating and drinking more, and how to do that while having more energy and strength throughout the season. So if you guys have any questions or you are interested in any other topics that you want new blogs and new videos on, please comment below, let me know, and I am happy to chat with you guys. All right, that's it for now. Until then, bye guys.